Yeah, it was good to not have any rust in that first game, but we still left some points on the field, so we're working to correct that.
I think fans were most impressed. I mean, not just that it was Georgia Southern, but in all three phases that y'all played that there was no rust in week one, and that y'all put the team away right away. And what does that do for confidence?
Definitely gives you confidence for sure, but I think it just shows that that's usually what happens when you have an experienced team, a lot of seniors, a lot of juniors. So if we would have come out rusty, it would have been disappointing.
They, I guess, like dating back to high school, everyone in Athens calls you Big Game Joe. And are these the kind of games you really live for?
Yeah, this is why you play football. You don't play football for non-conference games that you're favored by 30 points. You play football to play on prime time against Texas and Florida and teams like that.
Tom Herman recruited you, but he left before you got there, right?
Yeah, he did. He went to Houston like a month before signing day, my senior year.
Describe him as a recruiter. Obviously, he did a good job.
Yeah. I owe a lot to Coach Herman. Thank you. He was really the only coach from big-time programs that had any faith in me, and there were a lot of people within the program there that didn't really feel like taking me, and Coach Herman kind of stood on the table for me. So I owe a lot to Coach Herman, and he's a great man and a great coach.
I had talked to Mark Pintoni this week, and he had said that there was a throw-in session in Athens, and a bunch of teams would always come through, and that Herman went out there, and that's kind of when things turned. Do you remember?
Yeah.
You remember what it was like that day?
Yeah, I walked out. That was probably the best I've ever thrown in my life, and I walked off the field, and I said, if they don't offer me after that one, then I'm just not good enough, flat out. But yeah, he kind of fell in love with me that day, and kind of went back to Columbus and kind of stood on the table for me.
When was that?
Would have been May, going into my senior year.
You'd met Tom at that point, though, right?
Yeah.
Was it the first time you met at a Ohio State camp, or?
That was when he came to Athens, and I had met him at a camp my sophomore year when I was like 160 pounds and couldn't really throw the ball very well.
Was there ever any thought to following him to Houston?
No. I don't even remember if he asked me to or not. I don't think he did.
I know you
Would you
don't.
have transferred earlier if he came here?
No, I transferred as soon as I graduated.
I know you. I know you don't care about the side storylines or anything, but is that just football or how people move around? That Ellinger's first offer was from Herman right when he got to Houston, and obviously you spoke highly of Herman. Now you guys face off with Herman as one of the coaches, and you hear it's kind of, you grew up in football, so it's kind of the crazy world that football is.
Yeah, the longer you're in the football family, the more people you're going to know and the more people you're going to play against that you know. And Coach Beck is actually the OC and he was my quarterback coach the first 2 years too. So yeah, I know a bunch of guys on that staff.
How does your relationship with Tom develop from when you first met as a 160-pound sophomore to now?
It's developed just like any other relationship. He texted me after the Fiesta Bowl last year, told me congratulations. So we stay in touch every once in a while.
Do you remember him, the LSU almost hiring Herman? Did you follow that at all, or did you swipe noise?
No, I honestly don't remember that, to be honest. I knew Texas would probably go after him eventually, and I was happy to see him have success because I knew how good of a man he was.
I was rewatching the game, and I don't think I've ever seen you as smiling and jumping around as when Terrace scored his first touchdown.
Yeah.
Why?
All the receivers were making fun of him all throughout the week because he didn't score any touchdowns last year.
Right.
And I think he kind of put it back in their face, scoring 3.
On 3 catches.
Yeah.
You guys were averaging almost over 3 plays a minute in the first quarter. Is that kind of tempo you guys want to run, or is it kind of like you're going to scale it back some?
It depends on the game plan, for sure. There'll be some games that we want to keep people out of their exotic blitzes, so we want to go fast, and there'll be other games where we want to see the defense and make sure we have the right look.
Obviously, you want to go faster because you couldn't get an official out the way one play.
Well, yeah, he was stopping me from snapping the ball, and they do that when we sub, but we didn't sub, and Georgia Southern was subbing their entire D-line onto the field on a 3rd and short, and we didn't sub, so I was trying to snap the ball, and he was holding it. So that got me a little flustered, yeah.
There were times they've seen on the radio that y'all caught them in man and zone, caught them out of position. I mean, that's exactly what you're trying to do with this kind of offense, right? Did you see those kind of things? Could you see that from reading it during as the play?
Yeah, I mean, we had a great game plan going into the game, and we felt confident about it all throughout the week and executed it very well.
There's a storyline in this game. I mean, that here you are, like SEC Offensive Player of the Week, validating everything you've been talking about. The offense looks like it's very detail-oriented versus a secondary that hasn't proven itself, that's been kind of rebuilt and so forth. How do you feel about that storyline?
I mean, you can say they're inexperienced, but it's Texas. They're going to have great players all over the field. And they obviously, I think they don't have a lot of starters returning, but I think they have a bunch of experience with guys that played a lot last year still that weren't considered starters. So they do have experience, and, we're going to have our work cut out for us this week for sure.
How much film have you seen of Caden Stearns?
I mean, you got to know where he is all the time. He's really good on the back end.
Okay, and then you tied the touchdown record in the first half. Were you aware of that at all?
No, I didn't. I was not aware of that at all.
Were you kind of upset a little bit that after the fact that you didn't break it?
No. I think there'll be more chances throughout the year for that.
But you look kind of like you really wanted to go for it on 4th and short when they kicked that field goal.
I always want to go for it on 4th and short every time.
I was like looking and thinking, oh, you must want that 6th touchdown. But how much did you? What was it like getting all the adoration after how well that first game went? And do you have a strategy to balancing soaking it in and loving it and enjoying it and helping it build you up with actually not?
I mean, it's this
buying into it too much.
It's the same thing as last year. Coach always says, block out the noise. I mean, everyone was talking smack about me last year when I wasn't playing well, and you just have to take it all with a grain of salt and just focus on executing the game plan.
I didn't know you had any haters.
Yeah, I didn't either.
There were Tyron Matthew told us that once. All the haters out there. I didn't know y'all had haters.
There's a couple of them.
Even at the NFL level, we run into players who seem to be like conjuring haters just to get themselves fired up for a game when no one's actually criticizing them. Are you sure you're not doing that?
Not doing that.
What is it? I thought an interesting stat was last year you had 14 guys catch a ball, and last game you had 14 guys catch a ball. What does that do for the guys who don't start? The guys who can keep their head in the game for 4 quarters because they think they might have a chance.
Yeah, my favorite stat from Saturday was that all 5 of our backs that played caught a ball, and I was pretty proud of that because that shows that our quarterbacks weren't forcing anything, taking our check downs, and not forcing the ball into tight windows and risking turnovers.
How was it having your dad in the stands?
It was fun. It was fun to watch Pac-12 after dark with him when I got home. So I'm excited for him to be around.
Is it right that when Herman got the job at Houston that you were on your official visit to Ohio State and he got a call?
Yeah, we were. So they were telling me that he was probably going to get offered that job. It was me, Coach Meyer, my family, and Coach Herman. And then Coach Herman had to take a call, walked out. And I don't think he ever told me that he got offered, but then the next day I think it was in the news. I kind of figured.
When he took that call, have you seen him since?
He was at a bowl game for Ohio State. So I saw him then, but that was probably the last time. Yeah.
How much can you appreciate how fate played out, where he's there, Coach O's here, and it seems like it's worked out for everyone involved.
Yeah, it definitely has, and it's always nice when there's stories like that because you see a lot of people transfer and not get the opportunities that they thought they would, or transfer to the wrong places, and so when you have people having success everywhere, it's always good.
You had mentioned that Tom Herman was kind of going to bat for you at Ohio State, but there was some doubt amongst the program. You kind of had to convince Coach Meyer. What was that like for you, kind of being in that limbo where you kept waiting for the offer to come?
Yeah, because I didn't really have any big offers, and I knew Coach Herman liked me, and we talked once or twice a week, and he would call me and say, you know, just wait on it. You know, it's gonna come. I really like you. I'm just trying to get everybody else to get on board, and so I was kind of waiting on it. And then one day, it was actually the last day of my junior year of high school. Coach Meyer called me and said, "You're our guy," and I committed on the spot.
Really, there's a lot of strange twists that was in it. Like, I mean, I'm sure when you committed to Ohio State, you didn't envision being the starter at LSU.
Yeah.
And playing in like a huge game last year against him.
Yeah.
Right. What is that? What's the moral of this whole story?
That's a good question. I don't know what to tell you there. I don't know, man. That's a tough one.
Just expect the unexpected.
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, crazy things happen all the time, and I guess this is one of them.
Last one, if anyone has one.
Do you see any Elling of yourself and Ellinger, or vice versa? A lot of people compare you guys in different ages and all that, but
yeah, I mean,
similar guys.
He's a great leader and super tough guy. So I would say we're probably a little similar in that sense for sure.
Thank you, Jeff.